Hello, good morning everyone. Today I'm going to share with you just a little bit what's on my heart. It's not going to be a long-winded video. I'm not going to put in a lot of needless words, but I felt on my heart that I was supposed to share this, and I want to share it with all of you. Before I share with you exactly what the Lord has placed on my heart, I need to give you a little bit of a background of my life, a little bit. That way you can see the building up to what we're going to talk about today and how it can really help you and it can affect your life as well. My parents didn't dress Mennonite anymore. They still held a lot of the doctrine and just how they were raised. And one of the things was about emotions. We were taught to hide our emotions. Hide anger, hide extreme joy, hide sadness. My mother was always the kind of person, so she hid it deep inside. When my mother was very upset, it was all festering inside. When my mother was really sad, when the death of a loved one, she held that inside. Being taught to hide your emotions is something in a lot of families, not just plain Mennonite families, but in the Mennonite families, a lot of them do that. A lot of them hide their feelings. And so they hide their emotions. So they were never taught to express in a healthy way anger or sadness or even bitterness or resentment. We weren't taught how to handle these feelings. We were taught that you keep that inside and you just get over it and keep it inside. So my whole life growing up, I didn't know how to handle certain feelings that I had. Being adopted was a big feeling that I had to go through, but I wasn't taught how to be healthy in it. I wasn't taught how to filter through all of my feelings and find a way to share my emotions. It came really prevalent when I became a wife at age 17. My life was very stressful with 3 small children. By the age of 19, I had 3 small children. I was not taught how to filter and how to work through feelings that I had, because my husband's family came from the same background. And so it was not taught a healthy way to show sadness and a healthy way to express your feelings. I didn't realize so much about all of this until I became an older woman and until I started realizing that in life you can share your feelings and your thoughts in a healthy way. Anger is an emotion, and there's nothing wrong with being angry if you do it in a healthy way. I didn't know. I had no coping skills. Everything was shoved deep inside of me, and what happened was I became a victim of anxiety disorder and panic disorder. And I'm going to tell you something that the Lord told me just last night and how I am breaking through all of this. In the past years, I've had many videos on anxiety disorder and how I'm working through it. I did very well for 2 years. I had no anxiety. And then, of course, the double death, with both of my parents dying in a short amount of time, produced high anxiety for me. Once again, I was unable to work through these feelings. I didn't know how to cope with them. Life goes on. You just suck it up and you keep moving on. Yes, life does move on, but yet when you stuff it inside, your body can't handle all that pressure. And eventually something happens. People will blow up in anger. People can become violent. Or people who are very sensitive like me come up and have anxiety disorder, which is a physical manifestation of things that is going on in their life. And I've dealt with that many, many times. I want to share something with you. Just this week, I had to do something in my life that was not pleasant. I had to do something in my life that was festering for over 35 years. In fact, it's to 52 years, if I really want to be honest. I had to face something, and I had to share my emotions. You know, thinking on it, I thought if I do this, it's going to cause me, a great hardship. I thought if I share this, I'm going to be hospitalized for weeks on end, and my anxiety disorder and the panic disorder is going to go full blown, and I'm not going to be able to handle it on my own. I'm going to need medication. I really thought it. That's how big this was in my life. And I knew I couldn't run away from it anymore. You see, in my life, whenever somebody hurt me, I kept it inside because I didn't want to hurt them back. By expressing my emotions, I thought I was hurting them. I was always that way. There could be strangers on the internet that would say awful things about me, horrible things about me, but I would never share with them what they've done to me because I didn't want to hurt them back. Now, I know a lot of you who are sitting there thinking, that's just plain down stupid. Like I would tell them off and be done with it. That's because you don't have the situation or the growing up years like I did, or you don't have the personality like I did. An extremely sensitive person thinks like me. An extreme sensitive person can be a victim very easy because they don't have no backbone and they can't fight back. For everything in every season, there is a time. And that is true. Sometimes it's best to be silent. But sometimes it's best to share and to get it out in the open and share your feelings. This video is going to be very thorough with what I share with you because there's so many different situations that you are living in that I may not be living in. And the Lord has placed this on my heart to share with you. And so I had to share exactly how I felt. In a loving, kind, respectful, very respectful, non-angry, very respectful and kind way, but I was firm and I shared my thoughts. Immediately, I felt a release that I haven't felt for 35 years, 40 years. In fact, it was an amazing feeling for me because I said how I felt. I never would have dreamed that because I was always afraid to share my feelings. And that, stuffing it inside, is what causes anxiety disorder. I was laying in bed last night and the Lord spoke to me. Now, he doesn't speak in an audible voice like, Teresa. It was that small, still voice. He said something to me I could have never thought on my own. And I got out of bed and I wrote it down. And this is what the Lord has told me. Anxiety is the inability to express your emotions. Anxiety is the inability to express your emotions. When you don't express your emotions, you have anxiety. And enough of anxiety in your life will stress out your physical body to the point where you have panic attacks. And panic attacks are just the manifestations of severe anxiety in your life caused by an inner turmoil that needs to be released in a good, mature, kind, loving, respectful way. I guess you're thinking now, well, that sounds really good and easy, but what happens if you're in this scenario? Scenario number one. Let's say the person who caused you a lot of harm and a lot of anxiety, and you know who it is, they're dead, they're not living. What do you do? And this is what you do. I believe in my heart 100% that the Lord is sharing this with me to help somebody out. If the person is no longer living that has caused such turmoil in your life, this is what you do. Writing things down is really good. You know, they tell you, psychologists tell you to write things down, and that's great, but that's not enough. You need to verbally speak it. In other words, things that are hurting you in your life, you need to verbally speak it. Well, how do you do that? You verbally speak it in the privacy of somewhere. You can say, so-and-so, I know you're not living, but I want you to know what you've done to me and how you've hurt me. I want you to know that you've caused this in my life. But I want you to know, even though I can't face you in the physical world, I can share with you my thoughts and I can forgive you, not forget, but forgive you, and I can move on from this. You need to say it verbally, and that is why. Here's why. Because you can think it in your heart, but when you speak it with your tongue, your body will listen more. Have you ever heard somebody say, well, my daddy, he died when he was 40 years old. I'm sure I'm gonna die too. You are speaking something that your body will actually manifest to a certain degree. And so what you speak, in the Bible it says, whatsoever is in a man's heart, so shall he speak. So whatsoever you speak will be in your heart. And it's so important to say these things for forgiveness of you. That person is dead and gone. They will never hear what you say. They don't care what you say. They're wherever they are in this, they're wherever they are in the spirit world. But you can hear what you say. And what you say, you hear, and what you hear, you say, and you can start the healing process. Scenario number 2. What if the person that's hurting you is someone you live with and you can't leave that situation? In other words, there's a situation that you know it's toxic to a certain degree, but yet you're not leaving that. When I talk about toxic, I don't talk about physical toxicity. I'm just saying, let's say there's somebody who's, their personality is one that's very cocky and snarky. What you can do is, if you don't feel that you are comfortable in saying your feelings to that person, let's just say you're not, hey, I can't do that, Tessie. I can't share my feelings with someone who isn't receptive of it. Then you do the same thing. You say either to the Lord, if you are a Christian, or if you believe in God, you say, Lord, this person is doing this to me, but I'm not going to hold on forgiveness. They have hurt me deeply, but I'm expressing the hurt. And express what your hurt is. Don't just be general. Express it. This person said today that I look like I'm fat. That hurt my feelings. I know my feelings. I own my feelings. And it was wrong what they said to me. But I love myself for who I am. And I'm not accepting what they're saying about me. Say it. Then you will find such a release of burden. Maybe there's somebody who you can confront in a kind, loving way. Maybe you're ending some relationships today or tomorrow. Friendships that have been friends for a long time, but they're toxic in your life. Then you email them, you share with them in a kind, loving way, in a respectful way, but in a way that you honor your feelings. And you will be shocked of what happens in your life. I had chronic anxiety. This isn't somebody talking that had a little this and a little that. Mine was chronic, daily, horrible, debilitating. It was an awful situation that I lived. But when I started releasing my emotions in a good way, in a healthy way, all of a sudden, the anxiety is gone. I used to hide my anxiety from my husband for years because I was taught as a young girl that those are flaws in the human nature. If you have anxiety and panic disorder, that's a flaw. Oh, that's showing that you're weak. You don't do that. And now I realized, I told my husband, I said, I had to email this person that I am ending a relationship with. And I told him, I said, I can do that, but I can't do no more. I'm done. I can't go back and forth and try to explain myself more. I said it and I'm done. And by telling him and letting him know that this is causing me anxiety, I'm going to be all right, it was gone because I wasn't hiding it anymore. In life, we have a lot of anxiety-provoking situations, but it's how we handle them and deal with them. I'm going to be doing a lot of videos on people who are super hypersensitive, because that is a personality. That is how you were born, and that is how you will die. It's a God-given personality, but we need to learn how to work with it. We need to learn how we can accomplish great peace in our life through it. And so if you have a coworker and you're working with them every day and you can't leave, like they're there, When you're at home, you can just de-stress and say, you know what Patty did to me today? You know what Gloria did to me today? You know what Sarah did to me today? She did this to me. You can say it to yourself. You know, she did this to me. You know, that really upset me, but you know what? I'm all right. It's going to be okay. I'm fine. You know, this hurt my feelings, but this isn't who I am. And you talk to yourself. You are your biggest supporter. Nobody's going to understand the things that you go through in life more than you understand yourself. Acknowledge yourself. Acknowledge your inner being. Acknowledge who you are, and you will find great happiness in your life. Lately, I found myself saying, I'm just so tired. I can't do this. I can't do this. I think, oh, I can't do this. I can't do all of this. I can't do this. And then I say to myself, I can do it. I got energy. I'm doing great. I can do it. I'm amazing at this. I can do it. Yeah, I'm all right. I can do it. And you know what? My whole attitude adjusted, and my whole physical being adjusted, because I stopped telling myself I can't do something and telling myself that it's too hard, it's too negative. I can't do it. Your body, of course, can't do it if that's what you're telling it. Your mind and your body work hand in hand. What you tell your mind, your body will show the symptoms. And when the Lord shared that with me last night, anxiety in your life is caused by not being able to express your emotions. That totally blew my mind. Yes, that's what it is. Anxiety is the inability to share your emotions. Whether you share it with yourself, or you share it with a loved one, you share it with a friend, sharing it. You may think it sounds silly to talk to yourself in a way, but you know what? It helps. My mom and dad are gone almost 2 years now. And days when I feel really sad and lonely, I will say to my dad, Daddy, you would get a kick out of this today. Or when I did the canning video where I was canning that, and to be funny, I would say, Daddy, you would have loved this. Daddy's not here, physical being, but you know what? He's here in spirit. He's here with me because I keep him alive. Whether he's here in spirit, I don't know what people can hear and do in heaven, but he's here with me and it helps me out. And so you may think that's a little strange, but I'm telling you, don't mock it until you try it. And I can guarantee you 100% you will be a better person. You will feel better. Because if it worked for me, my friends, it will work for you. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.